is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We have a very quiet satellite and radar across mid-Michigan this Monday afternoon. Just some hazy sunshine occurring across the state. Temperature-wise, currently sitting in the mid to upper 70s. Few locations in the 80s, 81 over in Ionia, right at 80 degrees over in Owasso, as well as down to our south in the city of Adrian. We'll hold on to this hazy sunshine as we go throughout the rest of the day. Temperatures warming up into the mid to upper 80s. We hold on to dry weather and sunshine for tomorrow, but the chance for rain will be returning later this week. We'll have some more details on that in just a bit. 6 News at Noon starts right now.
WMMS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at Noon.
In just about an hour, a court hearing for a man found guilty for killing a hunter in Bath Township is set to get underway. It is our top story at noon. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kirk Montgomery. Thomas Olson, who was convicted of second-degree murder and felony firearm, is making his case for a retrial. He was convicted for the 2018 death of Chon Yang. Yang's body was found by his family at Rose Lake State Park. Olson was arrested in 2023 and later found guilty for Yang's death. He was sentenced in September to up to 60 years in prison. That's according to court documents. In March, Olson was granted a evidentiary hearing. Now, under Michigan law, that happens when a defendant motion for new trial claiming ineffective assistance of counsel. The hearing took place in April, where the court heard from 3 witnesses. However, a decision was not reached on whether a retrial would happen. Right now, our Zach Priest is at the Clinton County Circuit Court, and we'll have the very latest coming up tonight on 6 News at 6. New at noon, one man is dead after a crash involving a Bobcat tractor bulldozer in Charlotte. State police say they were called to a home on the 1600 block of North Perky Road. They say the 44-year-old man was operating the Bobcat when it tipped forward into a tree trunk. That trunk went through the tractor's windshield, hitting the man. He was pulled by first responders, but died at the scene as a result of his injuries. And we do have several new developments in Jackson County to tell you about. Up first, 2 deadly car crashes over the weekend. A 49-year-old man from Horton died after hitting a tree head-on on Thorn Road. According to police, an investigation shows the man was traveling south on Thorn Road when his vehicle crossed the center line, leaving the roadway and then smashing into a tree. He was transported to Henry Ford Hospital, where he ultimately died from his injuries. And in Grass Lake Township, a 22-year-old man died after falling out of the back of a truck. Police tell us a pickup truck was driving to a storage unit on Clear Lake Road with 6 people on board. That's when police say the 21-year-old driver sped up, causing the man to fall out of the tailgate of the truck. He died as a result of their injuries. And a developing story out of Jackson County. The former mayor of Jackson and state representative Martin Griffin is dead at the age of 63. He passed away on Saturday after reportedly dealing with several serious health issues. He was born and raised in the city of Jackson, where he served as mayor from 1995 to 2006, and again from 2011 through 2013. He also served as a state representative for Michigan's 64th district from 2007 to 2011. Since 2018, Griffin had served as the treasurer for the city of Jackson. We will have more on the community's reaction to his passing coming up on 6 News at 5 o'clock. Negotiations regarding Michigan's school education budget will get underway again at the state capitol this week. This comes after lawmakers failed to pass the K-12 school spending budget at the start of the month, leaving districts in the dark not knowing how much money they'll get from the state. A budget passed the Republican-led House, but still needs to pass through the Senate. However, Michigan Senate Democrats have also passed their own education budget that could receive the House's approval. School districts were required to pass their own budget by July 1st, when the fiscal year started. But because lawmakers missed the deadline, school officials say they had to use guesswork when passing their budgets. The legislature is expected to be back in session tomorrow. President Donald Trump reacting to a new piece of legislation proposed by Michigan U.S. Senator Elisa Slotkin and 2 other Democrats, saying they, quote, obviously hate our country, end quote. Slotkin helped introduce a bill last week that requires immigration and customs enforcement officers, or ICE, to identify themselves and unmask during immigration enforcement actions. It's called the Visible Act. and would require immigration enforcement officers to clearly display legible identification that needs to remain visible. She argues that these agents should, quote, be required to identify that they're law enforcement because recent ICE arrests have looked more like, in her words, kidnappings. However, President Trump says Democrats, quoting again, hate our country for this bill, adding that ICE officers are doing a tremendous job. Well, we are feeling more pain at the pump. According to AAA, says the average price per gallon is up 12 cents from last week to $3.27, although that is still 32 cents less than this time last year. Drivers in Lansing, you're paying even more than the statewide average, looking at $3.31 per gallon of regular unleaded. And while those of you in Jackson have been seeing lower prices at the pump lately, you're back above the statewide average now, also paying $3.31. And we have a heads up for drivers this afternoon. Expect lane closures to start today in Meridian Township at the intersection of Marsh and Lake Lansing roads. The Ingham County Road Department says a contractor is replacing the stoplight. The work will require the closure of the outside lanes of Marsh Road, but the plan to install a new traffic signal while the current one remains open. Now, if all goes as planned, the County Road Department says this intersection should only have to operate as a four-way stop for just a portion of the day. It will make an announcement once the project is complete, so stay with 6 News for any updates. Those of you in Jackson, make sure to look to the skies because the U.S. Women's Hot Air Balloon National Championship starts today. The championship is held before the annual Hot Air Jubilee, and more than 15 female pilots from all around the country will test their distance, speed, and navigational precision to potentially secure a spot to represent Team USA in the 2027 Women's World Hot Air Balloon Championships. The competition expected to start between 6:30, 7 o'clock this morning, weather permitting, and will continue through Saturday morning. And while the Hot Air Jubilee will kick off on Friday, this marks its 42nd year in Jackson. It will feature more balloon launches and competitions, as well as food trucks. Other vendors will be there. The festival continues through the weekend, ending on Sunday.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Thankfully, we do have some amazing weather for that championship going down over in Jackson. Notice on satellite and radar, it looks incredibly quiet across the entire state of Michigan. However, if you look outside this afternoon, you'll notice that we have that hazy sunshine in place. That's not only the case across mid-Michigan, this is widespread across the entire state, as we do still have some Canadian wildfire smoke in the upper portions of the atmosphere. That smoke expected to make it down to the surface as we go throughout the rest of the day. It will impact our air quality, so the National Weather Service has continued these air quality alerts as we go throughout the rest of the day today. Good news is, even though that smoke concentration is going to be incredibly high today, it is going to begin to taper off not only as we go throughout the rest of our Monday, but we'll start to see some big improvements, not only in terms of the concentration of that wildfire smoke, but also with our air quality as we move into our Tuesday evening. That will especially be the case just in time for our Wednesday, which is actually going to be our next chance for rain. So we have hazy sunshine in the forecast as we go throughout the rest of the day today. A lot more sunshine in the forecast, even as we move into our Tuesday. We'll have a dry start to the day on Wednesday, but by Wednesday afternoon and evening, notice we start to turn up the chance for a couple of those scattered showers and thunderstorms. Severe weather chances going to be incredibly low across our area, but some isolated strong wind gusts will be possible, embedded in any of the stronger storms that form across our region. We'll follow a very similar weather pattern even as we move into our Thursday. Next completely dry day, likely going to be on Friday. Now, as that chance for rain begins to increase, notice our dew point temperatures also going to begin to spike as well. We're still going to be incredibly comfortable across the area today. Those dew point temperatures rising into the mid to low 70s Wednesday and Thursday. We get a little bit of some relief from the humidity just in time for our Friday. Notice outside right now on those quad cameras, you notice those hazy conditions, especially in Jackson and Grand Ledge. Temperatures in Lansing currently sitting right at 79 degrees. We're falling down into the mid 70s over in Hillsdale. 81, your current temperature temperature over in Ionia. Dew point temperatures generally sitting in the mid to low 60s. So in terms of the humidity, again, it still feels incredibly comfortable for today. We'll make it up to a high of 86 degrees across the area today. It's right around 3 degrees above average for this time of year. We stay dry and mostly clear overnight tonight. Overnight low is going to feel incredibly nice, falling down into the mid 60s. Notice on our 6-day forecast, we have a little bit of a temperature roller coaster that we're going to have to get through. 90 degrees the high on Tuesday, likely going to feel a little bit warmer because of that humidity. The chance for rain eventually going to return Wednesday and Thursday. By Thursday afternoon, we'll have a nice cold front making its way through the region. That'll clear us up just in time for our Friday. Also going to be feeling a lot more comfortable by then, highs in the upper 70s.
Great. It's nice to get a little bit of a break from that humidity. It was really muggy over the weekend.
Yeah, no, so we are still going to be muggy today, but again, that relief on the way later this week.
All right. Thanks, Kendall. Appreciate it.